Hello, is this Chicken Liggin? Y'all do fried chicken? I'd like to have a box. I'll send somebody to get it. Thank you so much. That didn't work out so good, did it? But stick around, we got a recipe you never even have to leave the house for. Ooh, man, it is a glorious day in February here, and it is so nice here in the backyard. I'm so glad to be out of the house. Say, I've had a lot of requests, and we listen to you folks, we do. How about some good old fried chicken? Now, I grew up eating fried chicken. We raised them things. Now, sure, you can go to the grocery store and you can buy any kind of chicken you want. You can get thighs, wings, legs, drumsticks, combinations, half breast, split breast, chicken fingers, steak fingers. Whew. But you want to save a little money? That's what we're all about anymore, I'll tell you for sure. Let's buy a chicken and cut it up ourselves. Take him home, cut him up. What's that you said? You ain't never cut up a chicken? Oh my gosh, I thought everybody had cut up a chicken. So, tell you
I
what,
haven't. I've never cut up a chicken.
You've never cut up a chicken?
No.
Huh. Well, it's okay, sugar. Make sure your knife is sharp. So let's go ahead and take these drumsticks off. And I just like to split that skin right there and then just sort of pull down. And we're going to take him off. Now, I like to do it this way to where, see that break? I'm taking leg and thigh all in one piece and just cut him out of there. There is a leg and a thigh. Let's turn him over and let's get that other side. We got a chicken what ain't got no legs, he can't cross the road. So let's take them little wingers off there. You can see right here we need to cut him. And I just like to pull them wings to where you can see that joint in there. There's a ball joint. Now we have chicken wing. Now, right here where this fat line comes in, where it's between the breast and the back itself, you can do this with shears or a good knife. But you can see right here where it circles out. And then all you got to do is just pull it around here. Be sure you save that skin because I want it on there. This here back, don't throw him away, folks. I guarantee you this is where Granny would get the chicken stock when she is cooking chickens down. You just throw that in a pot of boiling water, add you a little celery, a little bit of carrot, a little bit of thyme, whatever you want to put in there with it, boil it down, you got your own chicken stock right there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and separate the drumstick from the thigh itself. Cut right in the middle of that seam to where it's at. Go ahead and pull it over like this. See this bone that's coming out of there? Take it right here. You have a drumstick and you have a thigh. You can see right here, here is the middle of that breast. So I like to give him just a little cut right there. Turn him over, give him a little pop. Did you hear him crack? Now look what we got. 2 equal halves of chicken breast. I am going to cut these breasts in half one more time so I can have an equal frying. One other thing I forgot to tell you, if you buying that chicken, make sure if it says the liver, the heart, and the neck ain't been took out of that cavity, reach in there and drag it out. 2 1/4 cups of buttermilk. Then I just mix me in good old tablespoon of baking powder. Whisk it up well. Take them there pieces of chicken, lay them in here, because we're going to let them soak in that buttermilk for at least an hour. Now I'm going to dip them around in there and make sure everybody's covered well. Cover it with a piece of foil, slip it in the ice box as I call it. Shan calls it a refrigerator. You recognize something different, do you? Well, while that chicken was marinating in that buttermilk and it was calm, soon turned into 45 miles an hour. So just like we always do at times, either move to the barn or move to the house, that there chicken in the ice box for an hour. Then I pulled it out 30 minutes ago. When I pulled it out 30 minutes ago, I flipped that chicken over. Because that way we let that chicken sit out here, let it warm up just a tad. That's going to help. So we mixed us up some flour and some spices, got them combined all here together. Shan will have it in the little description there below. We're going to do the shake and bake method today, so we're going to scoop some of it in here. I'd like to start with about 2 cups of it. Go ahead and when you get a piece of that chicken, just go ahead and turn him over one more time. Let him drip there just a tad. Throw him in the shake and bake bag. Remember that commercial? It's shake and bake and I got to help. Well, the Beagle and Shan are watching. They say hurry up, so we're going to try to shake them all and get it done in a pretty good motion. Now, when you take that chicken out of there, it's good to let chicken sit right here on this rack for about 10 more minutes before you fry. What's that going to do? It's going to help that crust even get a little crispier. So I'm going to get the rest of this shook in a sack. We'll get it out here and we'll get after it. So while we're letting that chicken rest over with that batter mixture on it, we're going to talk about what we're frying in. That is a good cast iron skillet. Some good cooking oil, which you can use a peanut, you can use canola, you can use any kind of high temp oil, you can use Crisco, as long as you don't get that oil too hot. I do suggest if you're using Crisco, make sure you have some type of thermometer in whatever oil you're using, but don't get that Crisco much over about 340 or it'll go to burning. So one other thing you got to have, because my mama and them old women insisted on it. What's that? A lid. I get a lot of questions on YouTube. Say, my cast iron skillet ain't got no lid. Do you got another skillet over? This one will fit on this one. We got to have it so that chicken will cook more evenly and it will help that crust. I put canola oil in here. It's about yay deep, which I'd say is pretty close to 3/4 of an inch. Now, if you got a Dutch oven you want to bring in here and you want to deep fry this stuff in it, or you got one of them plug-in deep fryers, whatever, you can do it either way. I want enough oil in there that it's about halfway up on that chicken. And when you put 4 pieces in there, what's going to happen? Things is going to rise up a little. I've got me a little piece of tin foil back here in the back. I don't like to clean up an old stove on the inside. I'm creeping up are about 340 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and put this chicken in. I do recommend you place that there chicken in there with some tongies. Now try to keep about maybe 4 pieces in there at a time, but similar in weight. We're going to put 2 drumsticks and 2 thighs in there. I'm going to check that oil temperature here in just a second and make sure that it's running just pretty good since we laid that chicken in there. And what are we going to do? Get rid of that thermometer, put that lid on there, and what's going to happen?
We pray.
We do that every meal, and we're glad to. But we're going to cook it about maybe 7-8 minutes, depending, with the lid on there. So stick around and watch the clock. All right, you got a barn and it's built like this. It's like a 10-12 pitch on this tin barn, all right? All these chickens and roosters is walking around out there in the barnyard. Rooster flies up there on top like this, sitting up there perched on it and lays an egg. Which way is it gonna roll?
Roosters don't lay eggs.
Oh,
I knew there was a catch.
Man, you jumped on that real quick like a chicken on a June bug, didn't you? That's another one. Now, folks, if you're having to use another skillet on top of skillet, that's going to make a lot of moisture and steam and drip down. Now, they made them old chicken fryer skillets, had them drippers on it. Well, this too is going to collect moisture up here and sweat a little. Now, when we get through with this, we're going to have to clean this top one just as good as the bottom one and re-season it and everything as well. Let's just slide this over to one side just enough that we can check this here temperature. Well, it's running about 310. So we're going to turn it up just about 2 notches. We need to take a gander at it, and that's a goose, not a chicken. You can see how things are sort of happening here. Let's take a look and see what... Whoa, golden goodness. And we don't have to put the lid back on there now. Now, we want to probably cook this maybe 4 or 5 more minutes on this side, but I ask you to get you one of these little thermometers that you can poke in that chicken. Try not to hit a bone if it got one, and you need to have an internal temperature of about 165. Let's just take a look here and see what's on the bottom side of this. And you can see we're getting pretty close. I'm going to roll them around just a little to check everybody, make sure that everybody's on the right page here. And we'll check this old drumstick. I'm going to keep rotating them around till I hit that 165, and I'm just going to make sure that everybody is brown sufficient. Now, as we got them chicken out, before we start that next batch, we may have to regulate this oil. I want to check that temp one more time. To recap that a little, put them in there, put the lid on, about 5 to 8 minutes on that first side, took the lid off, turned them over, probably 5 to 7, 8 minutes again, but you have to rotate them around till you reach that temperature, set them over there and let them cool. Let's get some more of this yard bird in that grease. I like that crunch that chicken has, so
I hear it.
So tender and juicy, nice and crunchy. That is some good chicken right there, folks. I'm going to have another bite just to make sure. Big. That is so tender, so juicy. You're going to love it. Get them folks around the table. Get you some mashed potatoes, some gravy, corn on the cob, green beans, anything you want. Bless it and sharing the food and a good time. Buy you a thermometer if you don't have one. You're going to need it. You're going to need a set of tongs. Make sure your skillet's got a lid on it. Get your frying station set up to where it's handy to where you're working. Try to cover your surface so you don't make it such a big mess. We appreciate you starting outside with us. Sorry the wind got up, but hey, that's Oklahoma in February. Anything can happen. Me and Shan want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. God bless you each and every one. There will be a link for all this right below the video in the description. And if you need to make some gravy, we got a gravy video on there too. Hit the subscribe button and cock-a-doodle-doo. It's time to eat some chicken. Big.
Are you going to show me what you're eating?
Do you want a bite? Good boy. You're a sweet puppy, you are.